Hi there, it's Gracie, and today I'm sharing the first of a series of tutorial videos on handmade flowers. You will need water for this technique, and I think if you want a very nice real life looking flower, you'll need to wet it so that it works well while you shape it. This is a very easy technique. You don't need any fancy tools for it, really, just water and a little bit of patience. Okay, so let's spray the water. As I always say, I like it to be quite damp. It needs to absorb the water well so I can shape it easily. Once the flower has absorbed the water well, what I do is I grab a pencil. This is a Faber-Castell watercolor pencil, just so you have an idea of how the width it should be. And I'm just scrunching the flower using my nails, see, around that pencil. And you need to press real hard because this will assure you that the shape will stay there while it dries. So once I have shaped all my petals, in this case I have just shaped one for you to see. It's important that you give it a little shape like that so it closes a bit with a ball-ended stylus, and also ensure that you bend it a bit around that petal so it has a bit of shape outwards. Okay, there you go. Once it dries, it will look like this. So it doesn't look that pretty yet, but that's the art of patience. You need to go through every single die cut you did like this. You can open them a bit or you cannot. But there's a thing that I wanted to share too. When you are shaping the smallest flowers, like this ones, you have to use a narrower pencil or anything else you have in your craft room. I am using, in this case, because it is a smaller die cut and the petals are smaller, I'm using the end of a thin brush. And I do exactly the same thing. I scrunch the petals around that brush. You can use a heat gun to dry this and it will dry faster, but if you air dry it, it will work exactly the same way. So you don't need fancy tools for this. You only need a nice punch, flower punch, or a nice flower die cut to make these roses. Okay, so now that my flowers are ready, I am going to adhere them. And the adhesive I used is the UHU all-purpose adhesive. This is a German adhesive and it's basically liquid silicone. That's how I call it. This is very common where I live, but I have seen it on Amazon and I'm sure you can find it there too. So what I do is I add a little bit. You don't need that much adhesive. And you attach it to the same size of flower die cut and press. And what you have to do also is make sure that the petals are not on top of each other so that that gives the illusion of a fuller flower, just like that. Okay, my flower is ready. I adhered every single flower or rose die cut, as you may see, and The result varies because this is a handmade product, so don't worry if they look a little bit different every time. But that's actually the beautiful thing about handmade flowers. And as the real flowers in nature, they are never exactly the same. So this is how it looks. Now I'm going to show you how I color them, which is a very basic step. I just rub Ranger Distress Ink mister or ink spray. And in this case, I have mixed my own using a re-inker, a little bit of water in a little mister. So I just sprayed it right on top in the very center because I want to give the illusion of some natural coloring. I want to leave the outside petals a little wider or lighter, sorry, if possible white. Um, and once I am happy with the result, I just let it dry. So here's my finished flower, already colored and dry. You can see how pretty and delicate it looks. I like to sponge my flowers also with a little bit of light brown ink on the petals ends. I usually use Ranger's old paper distress ink for this, and I decorate them with brads or pearls. Here's a card I made using the exact same flowers, the exact same technique, and I also sprayed them with Perfect Pearls Mist. I decorated the flowers with crinkle ribbon, a vintage button, also a word bead and die cuts, and so on. If you want to know the details to this card is being featured on my blog today. The details are below, the links are below, and it's also being featured on the Frilly and Funky blog. They invited me to guest design for them today, so here it is. Now, I'm going to show you another card I made with this same technique but using different die cuts. These are the Heartfelt Creations flower die cuts. Basically this one right here, I use the same technique, and as you can see, you don't need to die cut twice the same size of flower because they have more petals, so that gives the illusion of a fuller flower without having to die cut as much. But because of the different result, I like both of the dies, because this one on the right, the pink ones, look rounder and delicate, and while this one, they look a little bit more vintagey, so to speak. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Please follow me because I'll be adding new videos to this handmade flower series tutorials, and subscribe to the channel, subscribe to my blog, and thanks so much for watching. See you again soon.